This is something that I never thought I would ever talk about, but you know what? It happened such a long time ago that it's like, you know what? I'm gonna let bygones be bygones. I really don't care. It's like obviously no big deal. I pretty much moved on with my life into bigger and better things, and it's fine. Like there's nothing I would like change obviously in the past and everything like that. But let me like give you a brief background. So at the time, this was like at least 10, probably maybe even 15 years ago by now. I mean, time flies. It really does. And, times change. So, basically, before we start, by the way, remember to leave a like and also subscribe. So, I was just doing a couple videos about this dude named Ian. His channel is called Ian on YouTube. And he does like a lot of videos that are 7-Eleven based and talking about his like journey like working just as like an employee. And this dude went super viral. I mean, he uh, has like gained literally 72,000 subscribers, over actually probably almost over around 100,000 subscribers in just like a couple months. This dude is absolutely crushing it, and like his growth is just insane. I mean, crazy. Like he's gaining like maybe even like 10, 20,000 subscribers in just a couple days. It's nuts to really think about that. So I was basically going to a place to try, like basically try to get a job like 15 years ago. This is over 15 years ago. At this kind of like, it's basically 7-Eleven. It's a place called Stewart's. I don't, whatever. And I was, even at the time, I was completely overqualified to get this job. And I sat down, did the interview. It was one of my first interviews because I was a very loyal and still am like, a very loyal person. Um, and so I wanted to stick to a bunch of jobs, and I still had a bunch of jobs even at the time before even starting my journey to get a job like way back, again 10, 15 years ago at this place. And basically, it consisted of like making coffees, pretty much everything that 7-Eleven employees do essentially. And so and by the way, the pay for like a minimum wage employee for these places is amazing. Even at the time, I mean, this is going back all the way like to 2015 or 2010 or whatever it was. The um the even the minimum wage, like not even including tips, was like $16 an hour. I mean, we're talking like really good money as a minimum wage employee. I mean, if you think about that, including tips, you could be making like, maybe 22 bucks an hour possibly if you do like the job really extremely well because this place was really popular. But I was overqualified and I explained the whole thing, and I felt like I was completely I mean, I didn't feel like this. I know for a fact that I was completely talked down to. And it was a really humbling experience obviously. But not only that, but I was kind of, in my mind, maybe I gave it off a little bit. I kind of had an attitude of like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. I basically did the exact same job that I was qualified for, you know, basically before I got this job, or at least I was trying, basically before I was, basically before I was going to be hired potentially for this, job there. And it was really just annoying. And it's kind of, and by the way, I'm kind of stumbling over my words because it's hard. It's still like to this day hard to talk about because I got to be honest too. Like I'm not even speaking from my perspective. I'm going to speak for a lot of people out there. People are completely overqualified for a lot of these jobs, and they still a lot of times don't get hired for whatever reason, and it's really ridiculous, to be completely honest with you. I think the job market, and I haven't really applied for too many jobs or any jobs really over the past like who knows how many years, but you know it's just it's really sad to see um, a lot of people just not either not making it or not being able to at least get a chance to put their foot in the door. And that could be for a lot of reasons, which I'm not going to really get into too much, but reasons that are completely out of the employee's control. And it's horrible. It's horrific. And there's, by the way, there's no reason why there should be this type of jobs market that a lot of people are either unemployed or, and a lot of people are looking to get hired, but employers, I mean, just don't want to hire you. And I think that's something that I want to talk about more. And so just going back, like at the time, like I was so annoyed, and rightfully so, that a lot of these employers were basically talking down to me, essentially. Like, there was one, I'll give you the best example that I can think of, and even say the name of the employer. I don't care at this point. Radio Shack. I was trying to get a job at Radio Shack, which the place was completely dead. And I worked, like, again, this is going back 15 years at least by now. But I worked at a place where where it was incredibly busy. There was a lot of people that were coming in, and I was completely like overqualified to be able to talk to people and be personable, and to be a great salesman. And they still refused to hire me for whatever reason. I don't know if it was to meet like a certain quota to have interviews or something. That part I still I gotta be honest, I don't understand some of these companies' quotas to bring people in and interview them. I think that's just really, it's like a circus, honestly. And I'm not, like, I want no part of it anymore, to be honest with you. I think that's just horrific that a lot of these companies do that to basically like meet certain quotas. Apparently, I'm not saying Radio Shack does this, okay, in an effort not to get sued. I think they're probably like out of business by now anyway. Who gives a shit, to be honest with you? And it just, to this day, I mean, I still, like, even 15 years later or whatever it is, I'm still like really like pissed off about it. Like, just looking back at my experience, like trying to be hired by companies, and then that's pretty much why I'm like on my own. That's pretty much what motivated me to move on. Basically, I'm gonna be completely honest about that. I think that my experience early on, when I had qualifications for jobs that I was trying to go for, like I have like a degree, and the degree that I have is basically, I'm not even gonna go there in this video. I just wanted to kind of like the degree that I got is basically, all right. I'll go there. The degree I got was basically like making me overqualified for a lot of these jobs. Two, which I also had. Like, I had a degree. Like, I had like work experience, like being a loyal employee for a lot of years. Never got fired. I mean, like, never had any sort of incident or anything like that. Never had a bad employer review. Nothing like that at all. So I guess that's probably why I'm like a little worked up. But I'm gonna just end the video now, because it is honestly something I don't like looking back on, to be honest. And that's pretty much why I like just like looking back at Ian on YouTube and just like looking at the shit that he's been going through like the past like a couple days or whatever. It just pisses me off, because these companies they just don't give a shit about you, honestly. To be completely honest, like, they just don't give a shit about you, and they just want to meet certain quotas, and they just want like they don't understand how to properly run a business, like the type of business that I kind of preach on this channel, of how to run, how to like treat yourself in a work environment, a workspace, and that's pretty much what I basically devote my channel to. And it just bad business, honestly, pisses me off. And there's a lot of bad business out there. There really is. There's a lot of bad corporate business. There's a lot just horrific business all around, and basically in the entire world. And I want no part of it, and I'm just annoyed just looking back, talking about it. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.